fight, which was no surprise. Hats out to Manny for leaving everything in the ring. And for just being the fighter that he still is at his age, and giving the sport everything that he is. It was a hell of an experience, and I'm still happy, to be holding my title, and we're gonna keep the ball rolling. Thank you.
All right, questions for Mario Barrios, still the WBC welterweight champion of the world. Lance Buckmeyer, you're up first.
Thank you. Mario, I know that there's some people around here who are saying that you maybe showed him a little bit too much respect, that you had opportunities to be more aggressive and sort of let him off the hook. Did you act the fight that way at all?
Yeah. Is this on?
Your mic is, hold on.
Try this one here.
There you go.
This one, okay. It wasn't necessarily about respect. It was just, he still has a lot of crack, for his age. He's still he was very explosive. He was very tricky, and I just wasn't, trying to make a mistake, by overcommitting on a shot that I wasn't sure of. But yeah.
Looking at the scorecards, the key was you swept the final 3 rounds on all 3 judges' cards. What did you tell yourself heading in those 3 final rounds?
Well, not only myself, my corner, they told me, I need to, they felt that I needed, to pick it up, just to ensure the victory. I felt like I had, I felt like I had edged out, the first, 5-6 rounds, but yeah, I did feel the need, to pick it up, and so yeah, that was the reason why the last 3 rounds for sure, I started picking it up.
Right here, Barrios. Congratulations. There were a lot of people in the media section that thought that you won the fight. You did so pretty handily, actually. I wonder, when you hear that, when you were going into the late rounds, like Lance said, you had to win the last 3 rounds, did you feel like you were ahead, or did you feel like you had to catch up? And when I tell you that lots of people, with no particular dog in the fight, thought that he was the winner, do you understand why they might think that?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I feel like I won the fight, and I feel like, the last 3 rounds really solidified that. But you never know what some people see or are looking for in the fights. But I feel I won. Me and my team feel that we won, and we're very proud of what I showed. And I'm still just thankful to be holding my title. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna keep things moving forward.
And if they did come to you and ask you if you would do that for them, what would you say?
Oh yeah, by no hesitation. I feel like I don't have anything left to prove. I feel like if he wanted to run it back, that would be completely his choice. But yeah, I mean, I'm with it if that's what he wants.
Brandon, welcome to 210 Boxing TV. Over here, Mario.
Steve.
Mario, do you feel like there should definitely be do you feel like there will be a rematch between you and Pacquiao, or what do you feel like in the future will hold?
I didn't hear that last part.
What do you think about your future? Do you feel Pacquiao rematch, or where do you see yourself going next?
Well, like I said, I mean, if a rematch is something he wants, then I'm with it. I still think this was big for boxing, and yeah, I mean, I'm still proud, and I'm still holding the title. If not, maybe we're still gonna move on, to the next best thing.
Questions for Mario Barrios.
Mario, ¿esperabas, de este lado para mi Sports Boxing, esperabas el ritmo que traía al final de la pelea de Manny Pacquiao? ¿Esperabas que siguiera tirando tantos golpes y tan activo como lo vimos?
Mario, were you expecting Pacquiao to be... Yeah, so well, the question is, Mario, were you expecting Pacquiao to be as sharp, as quick, and as decisive as we saw him be?
Yeah, I prepared, you know, for the best Pacquiao, and but you know, he was so tricky in there. He still has, you know, so much experience, and you know, he showed that tonight. And you know, it was a really good learning experience for me, and you know, I'm so proud of everything, you know, I was able to do.
Gail Falcon, Illinois Fights. This is a question for Bob. What were you telling Mario as you got to those last 3 championship rounds? You must have been urging him forward. And Mario, the second part is, what messages were you hearing from Bob that gave you those last 3 rounds?
Well, first off, I know we're going against an icon, right? And so the crowd's with him. I knew he was trying to steal rounds in the last, 10, 15, 20 seconds. And a lot of times when the crowd gets going, people get influenced, and you just don't know what the judges, are looking at. What are they preferring? I thought we were ahead in the fight. I thought we were controlling the fight with the jab. But I just wanted him to make sure that we closed the show in those last 3 rounds, just to make sure that we left no doubt in anybody's mind. And unfortunately, the judges seen it the way they seen it. We came up with a draw. One judge had Mario winning the fight, obviously. And the other 2 judges seen it a draw. So, we got to live with that. That's the way they seen it. But again, I think the crowd influenced the judges just maybe a little bit. That's my opinion. And he was trying to steal rounds. He's a veteran. He's an icon. He's been there 60 fights. But I thought Mario did a great job in winning 10, 11, and 12. And I thought that ensured the win. But it is what it is, and hopefully we'll be able to do a rematch, because I think everybody would love to see Pacquiao again, and who the hell wouldn't want to see 2-time Al Azteca? It was a great performance, and we move forward from here.
All right, we got one more question for Mario Barrios, and then we'll bring up Manny Pacquiao. Last question for Mario.
Mohammed Barak with EUR. Could you tell us the moments throughout the fight that you thought maybe were challenging for you, or more that you could have done to improve your performance?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, whenever I have a fight, there's always things that I could have done better. There were certain adjustments that were difficult to make with him, and his style. And I think that just goes with the experience that he has. The styles, the fights that he has been in. Yeah, he's a veteran. He's a legend, and yeah, he was very tricky, to try to find. Even though I was finding the jab here and there, it was hard to follow up on punches, and yeah, it definitely, he used his experience, and it was hard, to find my rhythm, early on, especially in those middle rounds.
All right, Mario, before we let you go, any final words as you retain your championship via majority draw against the 8-division world champion, Manny Pacquiao? Mario?
Just shout out to everybody, that supported this event. It was still, a really huge night for boxing. I say it was an honor, to be in there with a legend like Pacquiao. And yeah, like I said, I'm gonna take this fight. I'm gonna keep on growing. And yeah, Team Barrios will be back very soon.
We look forward to seeing you in the near future. Give it up for still the WBC welterweight champion of the world, Mario El Azteca Barrios, and his esteemed trainer, Bob Santos. Happy belated birthday once again, Bob.